The story starts with a guy exhausted, calling out to his friends and asking if this dungeon they're trying to do isn't way too hard, man. One shouts saying that the guild reinforcements were coming and they just needed to hold on a little longer. But they were sure that at this pace, everyone was going to end up dying, until suddenly a guy appears with a book in his hand and tells everyone to take a step back. Everyone turns to see who it is and a bunch of spears rain down on the monster. The dude with the phone on his forehead there, just now I noticed that, says that yeah, it really is him, man. When asked, the guy left streaming for able to see the Hunter of Hunters, the legendary guy Shinbak was the one standing in front of them. Someone is watching this live on their phone right now and questions this whole Hunter of Hunters thing. To him, that made no sense, since this guy couldn't even attend his own son's graduation. Yeah, you can tell already, right? That kid cursing over there is probably that bastard's son. A friend comes up and asks why he's alone and some young, kind of awkward, says they're busy. The guy's asking him to take a picture and he helps out. While thinking that it's always like this, his dad is always busy. He gets home, he sees his mom kind of tired. She's taking care of his sister who's been in a coma. For 12 years, man, doing those leg movements, I guess to keep the muscles flexible, that kind of stuff. Right. Just in case she wakes up. Some young ask why she didn't go to the graduation and she just answers that he should already know why. Angrily, he shouts for peace and asks why not, it was just one day he needed. It seemed like everyone there only cared about the sister. But then someone shows up behind him and says that he was yelling too much. Man, he looks back. It's the baddest dad, right man? The guy Shinbak, Hunter of Hunters, he's about to ask how the bastard got there so fast. But the dad just says he already told him not to raise his voice in the house. With that, some young turns to smile and the dad wants to know where he's going. When our boy says he's going to the training hall, the dad says he's already told him over and over. With the talent he has, it's impossible for him to become a hunter. It would be way better if he just gave up on that already. Obviously, man, that only made the boy even more motivated in training. True out, who's the coach says that today he was more intense than usual. The two are locked in, shoulder to shoulder, until the guy goes for a move and our boy has to retreat. Well, he pulled out a little Kurapika power there, man. I felt the bastard didn't have any power at all. The attack goes toward Juyang and starts wrapping around the sword. But in a second, the guy destroyed everything. Sun Jiom, poor guy, didn't understand a thing and was on the ground in a second. The guy still mocks him, saying it might have worked this time if those chains of his weren't so weak. Maybe you fight better if you didn't try to rely on that power. One time later, at the restaurant, the coach says he'll pay for today's meal since he got beaten up. But Sun Jiom says there's no point in trying to pay for anyone when he's broke, too. All he wanted was for them to keep training. Juyang asked why he wants to train even more. The test for the Hunter Academy was already over, so they just had to wait for the results. But Sun Jiom shouts no. Most of the competitors had multiple abilities or were regressors. Man, what the heck, a bunch of people already came back from the future, but how does that timeline even work? Explain that to us. And Sun Jiom is there shouting, saying that with the garbage abilities he has, it's impossible for him to become a hunter. And if he wanted his father to acknowledge him, he couldn't just sit at home resting. Juyang takes a look and says that all this just proves he should give up. He's already noticed that the boy doesn't even seem comfortable in his own house. At this rate, Sunyeon won't have anywhere to return to when things get tough. Outside in the rain, a reporter is talking, saying it's been 100 years since the monsters appeared. The message from the test to become a hunter at the academy had arrived, and obviously, to no one's surprise, the fool hadn't passed. Then everyone looks and sees him yelling or saying that this place he lives in was already a hell. On the ground, his phone is ringing with his mom calling. The answers kind of awkwardly, asking what it is, and of the next scene his arriving home all scared. The doctor says it's crazy to see someone who's in a coma for 12 years wake up in a condition that's actually not that bad. Then the mom turns crying to another boy and tells him to say hi to his sister. For sure, this sister who's in a coma for 12 years is going to wake up with the most broken power in the world, and he's going to get even more pissed off. But sometime later, the mom says the sister's feeling kind of anxious, so they're going to have to stay close to her a lot for her to start getting used to everything. She asked our boy to take shifts, but he says he has a lot to do too. Just because he graduated doesn't mean he has all the free time in the world. The mom says it's his sister, but he's shouting, saying he doesn't even remember ever talking to her. Man is protagonist. The bastard doesn't help us like him either. Damn jerk, take care of your freaking sister. The dad tells him to watch what he's saying, but our boy argues back, saying the one who needs to watch what they say is him. He doesn't deserve all this arguing. The sister says she doesn't like this and starts crying. The mom goes to comfort the girl and our boy just stands there like an idiot after saying a bunch of crap. After that, he started spending at least 3 whole days at the hospital with her. Our boy realized the mom wanted him to get closer and closer. But the way the sister was glancing sideways at him, we could tell our boy wasn't really into that. Outside, there he is with his tired chains. As always, the bastard at least didn't stop training, determined. Even after not getting accepted, knowing that this training would make no difference. To one moment, he enters the room and the bed's empty man. Outside, his sister is sitting on a bench. When he arrives and calls for her, he gets startled and yells. He asks what she's doing there and tells her she can't just disappear like that. The sister, whose name is Soyeon, kind of embarrassed apologizes, saying she felt kind of suffocated in there. And asks if she can at least stay outside for a little while. He seems a bit bothered, but says it's okay. So he's sitting in beside her, messing with his phone. Suddenly, the sister asks if by any chance he hates her. It gets a little thrown off, asking why, and she says he seems kind of scary, and that he's more like their dad now and used to be cuter. Our boy explains that the last time they talk he was 5 years old, and he doesn't even remember when he was like back then. Still getting says she doesn't really remember either. Dad and mom are older, the siblings changed completely. She couldn't even go to school. For some reason, she felt like she was alone in this world. That in our boy in the heart, right guys, it also feels alone after all. And then he asks what nonsense she's saying. She had him had mom had a dad, so how could she be alone? Not to mention that she could always make new friends, just because she couldn't go to school doesn't mean she'd be alone forever. That made her boy think that going to Hunter Academy wasn't the only path to becoming a hunter. Jurian, who his coach never went to the academy. It was still way too early for him to give up. Then so he unthanks him and says they better go back. Our boy then goes and asks how she even got down there. There was no wheelchair and her muscles should be totally atrophied. But guys, the girl's floating right man, deposit me $1 million right now and this was obvious. Damn it. She's going on and she says that the whole time she was asleep, she was living in the fairy realm. Sonya and his standing there with his mouth open, remembering that reporter who said that these people who returned from another world are a bunch of demons. And the Gat also saying that with the talent he has, he'd never become a hunter. Seeing her floating there calmly and glowing man, the boy was shocked. We go into a flashback to find out if this little brat was strong in the past too. The mom showed up to scold the 2 damn kids who were super dirty. They complained and said that tomorrow they were going to play more and come back home. However, tomorrow man is uncharted territory for anyone. Already at home they took a bath, had dinner, and went to sleep. Soyeon lay down wondering what she would do tomorrow. But it was at that moment that a weird blue fairy appeared and said she had been chosen to go to their world and ask if she was interested in saving that place. After that, Soyeon spent about 6 months in that other world. But when she came back, she found out that 12 years had passed in her world. And now in the hospital, a guy says that he's sure his daughter is a returning. The bracelet on her arm should be some kind of awakened ability. It didn't work on those who brought powers from another world. The guy then asks Soyeon to talk about that place she went to. She just says that the fairy explained what she could and couldn't do, how to use magic and the knowledge needed to survive, and also how to face the queen. The guy's a bit confused, right? He tells her to talk about this queen. She says that this queen was a bad person in that world, and there was a promise that if she could give